my little coffee beans. My name is Sarah. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing the Thrilling Thriller book tag. Okay, so I have the questions here. I'm really close. Okay, I have the questions here on my phone, so I'm gonna be reading them off my phone as we go. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Also, I will link the original tag video down below, and then also I will link Savannah's video down below at 𝓞𝓮𝓷 𝓜𝓮, because she's the one who tagged me to do this tag. Okay, let's get into it. So question number one is, what is the last thriller that you bought? And let me get it. So the last thriller that I bought was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. And I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with my mom sometime next year. But I've heard a lot of good things about this book from Gwen and from, I think Jackie also liked it. I'm not really sure. But yes, I know it's one of Gwen's favorite books, and I've heard a lot of good things about it just in general, so I'm really excited to read this book. But yes, this is the last thriller that I bought. Question number two is to show us the last thriller you recently added to your TBR. And for that, I have The Perfect Nanny by Layla Slimani. I'm probably saying that wrong, but this is the last book that I even went to my Goodreads to look at all the books that I have on my to be read shelf for my Goodreads shelf. I don't know why I'm like stumbling on my words, but I looked on my Goodreads account and I sorted by date, newest to oldest, and this was the last thriller that I added on there. It is not my last thriller that I've added to my mental TBR, but it's the last thriller I added on there. So this is about a nanny, and she may not be so great. I don't really know. Okay. I don't know a lot about this book. I initially picked it up for a secret TBR, and I'm still planning on doing that secret TBR probably sometime in March. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah. Question number three is, what thriller did you have high expectations for but ultimately let you down? And for that one, I'm gonna have to put a picture up here because I actually unhauled it. It was The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I DNF'd that book. I was, I think, 330 pages into it. I don't even know how long it is. But I just was so bored while reading that book. And I just didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about anything. And I just didn't want to waste my time anymore. So I looked up the spoilers, what the big twist was, because I heard the twist was worth it. But in my opinion, it wasn't. I read the spoiler for it on Goodreads and I was like, oh, that's it? Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for you right now, but yes, that book definitely let me down, and I would not recommend it. Question number four, what tropes do you love and hate in thriller books? Something I love in thrillers is probably, I guess, like an unreliable narrator. I love that, and amnesia can be hit or miss, so I can't really say that I love or hate that. And then also flashbacks. I do like flashbacks when they're done well, because I've read a lot that are kind of like confusing, but not in a good way. So yeah, something that I love is an unreliable narrator. I guess that's what I'll say. And then something I hate in thrillers is, I don't know, being cheesy, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like cheesy thrillers, but I don't really know how to explain myself on that. I'm pretty new to this whole thriller thing, so I haven't read a bunch, so I can't really say. But I guess cheesiness is something I hate. but I can't really elaborate on that, so. And then number 5, recommend an underrated thriller, and for this, I am going to pick, so for this one, I'm going to pick a book that's not necessarily underrated, I just think it gets a bad rap, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say Final Girls by Riley Sager. This book gets a bad rap for some reason, and I actually really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed this book way more than I enjoyed The Last Time I Lied. I have read every single Riley Sager book, but this book is, the consensus is that everyone likes this book the least out of all of his books. And if I were to rank every single Riley Sager, I think this would be my second favorite book. I actually really enjoyed it. I loved my time reading it. Like, I don't really understand why people hate it so much. I wouldn't say people hate it, but I don't really understand the bad rap that it gets, because I think it's solid. I think it's good. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say about that. This book is about a girl named Quincy who is deemed one of the final girls. There are 3 final girls, and they're given that nickname because all 3 of them have survived a massacre of some kind. Not all of the same one, but they've survived a massacre. So they kind of have this connection in that way. And then one of the final girls dies. The other final girls have to get together and decide if they need to fear for their lives as well. So I thought it was really good. I think it gets a bad rap, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, and then number 6, pick 3 thrillers from your shelves. 2 you've read and 1 you haven't. Should I do them one by one? One by one, Ruth Ware. If you get it, you get it. Okay. So we have a Ruth Ware book, The Turn of the Key. Ooh, fancy, fancy. Ponder It. Have I read it? Have I not read it? The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. Have I read it? Have I not read it? There's probably a big hint right here. Ooh. And then The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't really know. Have I read it? Have I not read it? It's up for you to decide. Comment down below which one you think I haven't read. Question number 7. People are often intimidated by the thriller genre. Recommend a thriller for beginners. So for this, I'm going to recommend The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And I'm going to recommend this purely because it is a classic whodunit mystery thriller. People either really like it or they really hate it, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't perfect, but I thought it was a fun read. I liked all the different perspectives. I didn't really get confused at all with any of the perspectives. You can kind of distinguish from them, like, who they are. Okay, but yes, I think this is a good pick for the first book you'll ever read in the thriller genre. It's just classic. Okay, and then the last question is, what is your all-time favorite thriller? And I have 2 for this because I don't really know how to pick between them because I like them both for different reasons. So I'm just gonna show you both of them. The first one is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I really enjoyed this. I read this not too long ago and I really loved it. Like, I gave it 5 stars. I switched back and forth between listening to it on audio and physically reading it, and then following along with the audiobook while reading it. And it was just a 5 out of 5. Like, I loved it. I recommend it to everyone. I was so mad when it got taken off of the Goodreads Choice Awards because it was on there in the second round, and then the final round it wasn't. But I'll just contain myself. This was a solid 5 out of 5 thriller, And yeah, it was more of like a crime thriller, which is why I can't say it's my all-time favorite thriller, because the next one I'm going to talk about is more of a quote-unquote thriller. So this one is definitely a pick for sure. But the one that is more of a thriller would be Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. I mean, I don't know why I would pick an all-time favorite thriller for this if I didn't give it 5 stars, but this book knocked my socks off. Like, I was shook at the plot twist at the end. I didn't see it coming. It came out of left field. I personally loved it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but like, how? Because it was brilliant. It was impeccable. I love the cover of this. It's so pretty. I read this in one sitting. I mean, I don't really know what else to say except that. And this is one of the first thrillers that I ever read, and I loved it. So you should read it if you haven't. This is my public service announcement. You must read this book. If you don't, you're just doing yourself a disservice. So the last thing on this tag, to tag all of my fellow thriller lovers down below, please feel free to do this tag. And even if I didn't tag you, feel free to do this tag anyways. Consider yourself tagged by me. But yes, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video if you want more of me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!